All right, let's call this meeting of the Wayne County Commissioners to order, please. We do have something from the surveyor's office on quotes for a copy machine. Steve, are you in the loop on this?
Just that this copier is obviously has reached its obsolescence.
It's no longer
Right.
able to be on a service contract.
Correct. And some of the components are no longer available, and this is a replacement for their copier.
So we've got two quotes. A Minolta at $26.48 purchase price and $25.50 a month for maintenance.
I only see one. Where do you have two?
This is the Minolta,
Yeah,
and then this next page.
it's the same one, isn't it? $29.50? No, okay.
No,
Okay.
that's the Rico. $29.50 and $33 a month for the service contract. Then I've got, what, 500 copies.
500 colors.
Okay, so it looks like that's, the Minolta's, or the Rico is much more expensive on the overages at 11 cents versus 6 cents.
It looks to me like the
I
Minolta's
think the Minolta,
cheaper.
Yeah. And they both.
We don't have any recommendations from them, which, I mean, from
No.
Gordon, has anybody talked to Gordon, or?
Gordon has not been in this week since that I've seen, so I did talk to a couple folks and they just want to replace the machine. So I talked to Craig yesterday.
And
Sounds like he's comfortable with either one, and looks like this one is cheaper, so
I'll make a motion that we approve purchasing the Minolta copier at $26.48. Or is it coming out of their budget? I'm assuming they have it in their budget.
we need to work out the details, because if it comes out of their perpetuation fund, there's no money appropriated, so it'd have to be an additional
Or
appropriation.
do we want to wait and see how we're going to pay for this then, before we want to get this ordered? I mean,
Well,
I think we,
IT does have it, but they have a pot of money that's budgeted for
We could
copier.
also-
let me amend my motion to subject to approve purchasing the Minolta at $26.48, subject to where it's coming, where we're gonna, what budget it's coming out of.
that makes sense to me. I'll second that motion. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor of the motion signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed, same sign. Motion carries. All right. Steve Higginbotham.
All right, so you have your weekly report in front of you, and the annex generator, it's obviously substantially completed with the exception of those items we talked about a couple of weeks ago. I've sent that report that we discussed to DLZ. Have yet to hear back from them, but as soon as I hear back from them, then we'll deliver that information along with our discussion points to the contractor, moving towards some sort of resolution as to what the final pay app will look like with respect to any damages that we might have sustained.
So would those typically just be deducted from the final payment?
You know,
or
I
is there
think-
some other way to handle that?
I think that's the way the contractor would probably prefer it, so there's not a claim against his performance bond, but either or, we're gonna hold back money to cover it.
You're not?
We
No,
are.
Oh.
Yeah, we are.
Until we either agree that
Correct.
we'll
Yep.
pay him less,
Yep.
or that there'll be something, a payment coming from him in some way.
Right.
Okay.
So we're gonna hold
Does that
back, we're
make
gonna hold
sense,
back
Ron?
sufficient funds.
Is it substantially complete now?
There's not been
Not yet.
not officially, but,
Once it is, then you hold back 200%.
right. Yep.
Okay.
Then the next three items, nothing new on that, although Brandon's sitting here and he could tell us about the drainage plan if you wanted to on the
Oh.
parking lot. And
Well, let's hear from Brandon then.
Haven't had a chance to work on it just yet with the budget hearings and the utility permits. We've got another batch of about 12 of them come in, so working on about 60
What,
permits right now, so.
Are those permits for broadband or? are
Yes.
they- Okay.
Yeah, and a lot of those are tied to grants, so the quick turnaround time is
Right.
a necessity to them,
So-
so trying to work through that as fast as I can, so.
Who are most of those for?
Comcast, Charter Communications, Spectrum, Frontier's got some here and there,
Okay.
replacing some of theirs, so just
Okay,
varies.
good, good. Well, keep that up. We want to get broadband out into the whole county.
Yep.
Moving in that direction. All right.
then the courthouse front entrance, obviously you can see the daily progress. They still continue to move forward.
When it's not raining.
When it's not raining.
It's not too
When
hot.
is we were expected into July, right? Is that?
Well, actually, if you
Yeah.
remember that latest progress sheet that they gave us, they had expected to finish the front steps and all that by the third week in July, and I think that's next week.
That's next week.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, I've been gone for a couple of weeks, so I didn't look at it.
Yeah, all the steps are poured. and-
They are poured.
And this morning, actually started yesterday, putting in the bollards, the security bollards are going in. And then they'll pour that last landing there at the bottom. And then they'll go back and,
Did they get the final upper landing poured?
no, because remember that
Is
one that's on the southwest corner, they've not poured that because they gotta match that up with that piece they gotta take out.
Okay,
So
okay.
one thing that we do need to resolve, and we've started the discussion, is the street light component of this project. Remember that we're gonna replace this. Remember there was a cut sheet on the design of the street lights. There's some question whether or not the light that was spec'd, the base of it will match the existing. Yeah, I know, yeah, it just figures, doesn't it? So the lights that were spec'd calls for a 16-inch bolt hole. The existing ones are 10 and 14. So I've asked LWC to go back and look through the bid specs to see what these, because in this case, it's a subcontractor who has subbed this, the lighting portion of it, to see what they, because, you know, whether there was a language in it to require them to alter the base, or whether there was an adapter that was required. But in any event, the lights that were spec'd don't match the existing bases that are there.
And it came up a couple of weeks ago that RP&L has a standard process of removing the concrete base. Apparently they buy it pre-made and they drop it into a hole, and they take that with them if they take out the street lights and use it
And
somewhere
reuse
else.
them.
So they were talking to the contractor about, when do you want us to come in and take out those bases?
Well, then I would say maybe we ask LWC to see if they can find those concrete things to match up those holes.
Well,
If they're gonna take them out,
Right, and
It's not all determined yet. I had a conversation with Tony Foster yesterday, and we're working through some of the details. So
yeah.
we'll,
And then the
another little glitch.
yeah. Then the Proxcard lock system, still waiting on that one component. I had conversation with the contractor last week. They still don't have a delivery date for this one particular electronic component that is holding up the installation. The courthouse elevator, that's been advertised, and it is, you'll have bids to review on August 13th on that. And we have a pre-bid meeting scheduled for, I think, July 30th, so we'll get a pretty good sense of interest in that project at the end of the month. And then just for council's purposes, in that lower right-hand corner, the highlighted number is the number that's available in their one-time account, less the amount that they had earmarked for the police cars. Recall that we got the bidding on the police cars, and it came in at $269,550. The remainder of that was approved by council for expenditure for the lighting and conversion over
Boxes
to
and
the
all
new
everything.
one. So I've had communication with Major Moore, and that part will be handled by them directly with the claims. It won't come through my office, but that 2.2 million is what council has available. That's not earmarked for anything specific at this point. Then the last thing I have a request from Ivy Tech. If you remember that we've done this before, we've allowed them to use the WellCare lot for parking for an event that they had
Okay.
down in the
In the gorge.
Star Jeanette building.
Right.
And that is for Saturday, September 27th at 6 p.m. And they're asking to use the west parking lot for overflow parking.
And that was IV Tech, you said?
Yes.
Correct.
Move for approval.
Second. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor of the motion signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carries. You'll
Okay.
communicate that to them.
I will.
Okay.
Okay.
The houses, the 3 houses to transfer to the city and then the 2 lots, have we moved forward with acquiring whatever title we need to acquire?
Yeah, so those were included in on the judge's order for a tax
Back in
certificate.
February.
Yeah. So I think, have you taken an official action to approve those 3 transfers? Those 3?
I thought we did.
Okay.
I know we did 2. Did
I
we
know.
do this 3rd one?
We
I
got the,
think the final letter we got included all 3.
It did.
And we approved that.
okay.
So that's.
So then we're ready to,
Okay.
I think there's a deed that Selena has that has to be recorded.
correct.
Okay.
So,
And then where we at, there's been multiple conversations about disposing of the 2 vacant lots on
Yeah.
Main Street.
I think the way we,
916 and 918, I
Yes.
think they are.
yeah,
And so what are the options? What do we want to do? We had talked originally about transferring those to the city, decided that we wanted to go ahead and have a sale. And so there are options for how we would sell those, right?
Yep.
Okay, so.
and the options are, you could go back to SRI and have them conduct an auction, but that puts a cost, their cost on top of it. You could simply do an auction yourself, the commissioners. Then we had the conversation of whether or not those could be, transferred to adjoining property owners. Remember that conversation? And I don't think we resolved how you want to approach this.
And that's what I'm getting at. We need to resolve that so we can be ready to move forward in the next month.
I got the sense from our last conversation a couple of weeks ago that maybe just a simple auction here at the commissioner meeting is the way to go. But
We have to have appraisals.
But from 2 county employees that are familiar with real estate.
Well, one needs, I think one has to be licensed and the other one can be. I'd have to-
for that step, it does?
I believe so, yeah. I
If
mean,
we-
we're going under 36-111. Once we record the tax deed, then we're back in the regular mode of SRI Commissioner deed sales, which is based on Title 36. And I'll double check it and see. I'm like Steve, I thought we were just still mulling over the options, but I haven't.
Well, remember, we didn't really, I didn't think we really resolved that issue, whether or not we could just transfer. You remember that you got 2 parcels, and we had talked, okay, we'll put them together, make it 1 parcel, so you got
Yeah.
two adjoining property owners.
So I think the abutting property owners, I'm not sure we need to raise for that.
Exactly, that's
okay.
right.
Okay.
So you're talking about now the option of
Offering,
an auction to the adjacent.
not an
abutting
auction, we
property.
would offer.
There's a process that statute identifies. You invite bids from those who qualify as abutting owners based on the definition. So if you're separated by a street, you're still considered an abutting owner, I think, or an alley, you know. So we need to identify those, invite proposals from them. And then if we
But
get
only
one-
them.
Only them.
Yeah.
If we only get one, then,
Yeah.
you know.
So
But then the question is the order that you do it in? Because see, theoretically, not theoretically, actually, if you offer the 918 to the person who owns BSN, we're the adjoining property owner to the west at that point.
Well, I thought we talked about we could not
Unless we
consider those
merge
one.
Unless you put them
those
together,
two
yeah.
parcels,
Yeah,
which we probably should at least think about, because having them separate and yet the building was connected is what kind of got us into this position in the first
Yeah.
place, however many, 20 years ago or more,
More than that.
more than that.
Long-
But anyway,
longer than that.
So, you know, it was one building, but it was divided somehow
Right down the
into two
center.
parcels.
It was divided by a wall, but then over the years, it was owned by one person, and they actually had doors in between it, so they went back and forth. I mean,
It's
it was
party
one-
wall.
Yeah, it was one building essentially, and I think it had some apartments and.
So do you need some time to think about this? What do you?
Yeah,
what are your
my
thoughts?
thought, where I go to first is that, I think about the parking lot issue we had earlier this year.
Right,
I want it to be 100% transparent. We're not picking one adjoining property owner over another. We leave it open for public bid.
and the way
Or-
to do that would be to just let anybody bid.
I think that's
just
the most
adjacent.
transparent, because that way we're not choosing one person to bid on it over another, and it's very transparent. And if
Okay.
we only get one bid, we got one bid. I mean, that's, to me, that's the only fair way to do it.
So if we do that, does it make sense to go back to SRI? Can we still do that on our own? You know, who's the auctioneer?
I think, remember, didn't we have, refresh my memory, didn't we have a conversation with, or you did from the guy from
SRI, right.
whether or not we have to go back through all the title search and so on and so forth?
No, we don't.
Okay.
So we've already paid for that because
Right.
I mean, basically, if we have done everything we need to acquire title in the
Right.
company.
I'm gonna say, once we own it, it's got a clear title at that
It's
point.
just a matter of recording the deed, which
Yeah.
we haven't done yet.
Okay, and so,
Deeds.
I don't think we need to involve SRI.
I wouldn't think so.
We could conduct that here,
okay,
We're only talking, what, 2 properties?
yeah.
I mean, to spend the money to have them do it, where we may only get one person
But
bid
it's
on it.
actually, it appears to be one property if you look at it, doesn't it?
Yeah.
right, it's two adjoining vacant
that have
lots.
been sodded and they look nice, and,
Right.
you know.
And I guess then that's the next question. So we take title to, there are actually 2 parcels. Do you want to put them together under an auditor's certificate?
Yeah, I think so.
I think we should.
Yeah.
I mean, that didn't cost anything.
Right.
Okay,
I agree.
let's do that.
Make them
Okay.
it's
It's
one parcel,
So we put
auction
it
off
up
or-
for sale at an auction.
and then it goes back to Ron's comment, then we will have to have an appraisal done on that then, too. One by a certified appraiser.
I have to look at the statute, because
And then one by the county employee then.
I thought at least one time in the past, we were able to do it with 2 county employees who
With
had
knowledge of
real
property
estate,
values.
property
we can figure
values.
that out.
Yeah.
Okay, so you comfortable in moving forward with that? And we'll try to get this slated for August
Okay.
and get it done. Okay, and then the 3 properties we need to move forward with.
Yeah.
Transferring the deeds to the city.
They've given us their official notice that they're willing
That
to
they will
accept
take it,
those.
And then they are going to transfer it to a developer once they get it. At least that's what it said in the letter.
That was their intent,
Yeah.
correct, yeah.
Okay. Anything else?
No, sir.
All right. Ron, what have you got?
Don't have
I'm
a lot.
sorry, Brandon's been sitting here.
Yeah, let's get Brandon.
He's last on the list here.
Okay.
What's up, Brandon?
Just real quick, I have 2 statements of the basis for just compensation for right-of-way purchases. on the Waterfall Road project. One of them is the unknown owner parcel.
Who do we pay when there's an unknown owner?
It's a good question.
I was gonna say that's a wrong question.
Do we put it in like an escrow and wait for,
I think
So we-
we deposit the clerk.
and then wait to see if they make claims?
Well, there's the unclaimed property statute that applies, it has a provision that specifically applies to deposits with the courts. And it's within 3 years of when it becomes first available for distribution. So theoretically, as soon as we deposit it, it's available for distribution, we just don't know who to give it to.
Right.
So there's a 3-year period that will sit in the clerk's office, and then, if anybody ever remembers, then
Then they have to pay
At some
back
point, they're gonna find
taxes.
this money and say, where's this money?
well, I mean, I had 3 of those last year for the outgoing clerk, because she wanted to clear as many of them as she could. I mean, we were able to get rid of one. But we did get rid of that one, and actually the second one's gonna get resolved too this month. So, then you have to basically get ahold of the Attorney General's unclaimed property division, or Secretary of State, whoever it is, and they handle it. and clerk gets
So
it.
usually they list all the unclaimed property by name. So in this case, they list it by the address of the property, or?
No, I mean,
Or,
it would be listed under the cause number that we would bring the eminent domain action.
Okay.
It'll be filed under that cause number, and then we'll go from there. This
All
is
right.
steel workers.
Yeah, and then I have a second one for the steelworkers property, which is adjacent to it
Okay.
already. Appraisals and review appraisals have been done. And we're following the Uniform Act and all other applicable laws and stuff, so.
So we're ready to approve this?
I don't know, I mean, I'm not familiar with the new, because I only used the old once, and but yeah, I think that's the next step, and then we have to file the action, so.
Yeah, I think they need the compensation approval, and then we go to advertisement of the unknown parcel and then start the process. So,
But
All right.
have you talked to steelworkers, or do you think we have an agreement there as to the value? Or, I know that we have a consultant that's doing that, but
yeah, so they're gonna make the offers after,
after this is approved.
yes.
So this says the owner is the steelworkers.
Yeah, there's 2 of them. I think-
There's
yeah.
2 parcels that they own.
Well, the second page is the unknown, the first page is the steel. So there's 2
Okay,
separate
there's 2
parcels.
copies.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. Another
Alright.
one came in at the last minute, so I figured I'd bring both to you.
Okay, so, the unknown is at $2,890, and the steelworkers is $1,000. So do I have a motion to approve these for the president to sign?
So moved.
Second. Any further discussion? If not, all in favor of the motion signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Okay,
Thank you for that.
And-
That's all I have.
okay.
You'll
And
get-
and is there more than one copy of this?
Just the
You need
one copy,
signature, just
so-
this, okay.
You'll cue me when I'm ready, they've got the documents for me to look at, and go ahead with the complaint.
Yes. I think they've got the
Got some.
warranty deeds and stuff and some other information they need from you, and I'll give you a copy here on that.
So is that project moving along in a timely way?
Yes, I think the critical path is the unknown parcel and the condemnation process, but
But I think once we file the action, we tender the money, we have control of the property. At least that's the way it was in the old statute.
yeah,
Okay.
I agree with that, so.
The problem is we just.
So we don't
So
have to
we-
wait
No,
for,
once you've got that process conceptually, it was, I mean, because we did this on Northwest Fifth, the bridge, we had to do one or two parcels there to get control of the right of way on the west side, I guess it is, or whatever. In any event, once we pay that into court, then we get access, we get an order acknowledging the payment and granting access for the project if it qualifies, and obviously this does. And then the obligation moving forward is almost like an action against the funds. And if a property owner doesn't agree with it, they can file objections, and their own appraisals.
But
will
it doesn't
set for
hold-
hearing, But it
Doesn't hold it up.
It doesn't hold
Yeah.
up the project.
That's what.
And that's what we
really
wanna make
don't,
sure that's not
Yeah,
held up.
it's gonna be a tight schedule, but we are on schedule, so.
You're looking for the end of 26, or?
This project is slated to go to letting in February of 26.
Completion in December 76 or thereabouts.
What's that?
When's it completed?
Oh, it would probably be completed in 27, so.
Thank you for sending that information about the wheel tax. I thought
Yes.
that was very helpful. It's, can you put together kind of a summary, up-to-date summary of how much the county has paid in bridge repair and replacement above what we anticipated? You know, that's going to be one of the questions, why do you need a wheel tax if it comes to that? And I think the idea that prices have gone up so dramatically where revenue has not gone up at all is going to be an important part of that if when council starts their deliberation.
Sure.
So that'd be
Plus,
great.
you know, I mean, community crossings is, that's being reduced anyhow, and if we want to even be a player in the pot, so to speak.
Right. And there is a stipulation that if we do get the wheel tax and we get the direct distribution, depending on the amount that we receive, if it's above the grant cap, then we can't apply for the grant anymore. So there's a potential for us being more competitive with the grant and all the other counties and not being able to obtain the
Sure.
grant itself, so.
But if I understand it correctly, the positive side of this distribution pot is that there's no match required.
Correct.
So if we need $1.5 million to build a bridge and we go through community crossings, we're only going to get $750,000 and we have to match $750,000 from some other source.
Right.
If we have this direct distribution of $1.5 million, it pays for the bridge.
Correct,
Without
yes.
any other contribution from Wayne County taxpayers. So
But the likelihood of getting that's going to be a very competitive process.
Correct. Yeah, and a key thing to note here too is that with all the, the residents paying taxes, part of their registrations go into this community crossings pot.
Right,
So
already.
we don't want to be funding the rest
Other
of the state
people's-
and not being able to
Exactly.
receive the money that we're paying
That
out
would
to,
be a
so.
good point to make too. Okay. All right, well, thank you very much.
All right, thanks a lot.
Thanks, Brandon.
Have a good day.
Well, on the wheel tax, I mean, are you going to be there tonight?
Yes, I am.
Okay, well, Bill will probably talk about it, but I don't understand the difference in the revenue projections that I'm seeing from what I've got.
Yeah, I saw that. It's
And
substantial.
I think that really ought to be pinned down, and I don't know if maybe we can ask
Yeah, we did reach out to
Dr.
LTAP.
Barrett to,
And they said that there was a handful of counties that they noticed did not match the Legislative Services Agency's projections.
So does that maybe include if the city of Richmond also imposed it?
No, it doesn't.
So this is what they sent us this morning. And I think those numbers are a little different from what you saw, but they're closer to your numbers than they were to ours.
They're not closer to mine.
Or they're not?
No, mine's over 7 million,
Okay.
and that's quite a variance that I don't think we want to get too involved in public discussion of the council doesn't probably want to get too involved in a public discussion without really having a better handle on what it is we're trying to capture with the
Yeah.
tax.
Yeah, so we've got, reached out to 2 people in LTAP, and they've reached back out to the.
I guess I'd like to know, I mean, you can't get anybody to answer the phone at the Legislative Services Agency since they're not in session.
Right.
So I left a
they've been
message,
trying.
I don't know if it'll get replied to or not, but I did send Becca McKay, who is with AIM, my questions about that, and she could basically referred me to, I mean, if this came out yesterday or the day before, that document. And I said, well, okay, what can you tell me about that?
Yeah.
That's the one, that's the one we really like to think it's going to apply, if it's going to apply at all, and I don't know.
Right, yeah.
Boy, I can't imagine, that seems.
And then Richmond is still in for 2 million, isn't it?
Yeah.
It breaks it down by county and by civil, within the county. Qualified cities, which is 5,000.
Yeah.
Some of them I
It's
didn't
just
see,
Richmond.
I didn't see Centerville in there, I don't know.
No, they're not over 5,000.
No, they're not, okay.
No, that Richmond would be the only one.
Correct, yeah.
So, and if Richmond, if the county and Richmond imposed it,
They both
then
get
people who
collected.
live in Richmond would pay both of those
Both of them get taxed
taxes.
amount,
And
yeah.
Richmond would get a distribution from the county share plus
Their own.
their own tax. So I think the numbers that you sent would show at the maximum level, Wayne County would get about $1.7 million and the city would get about $1.4 million.
Yes.
You're talking about, okay, the actual breakdown that Mike sent over?
Right.
That's
Yes,
what-
yeah.
That was the blended percent from the
Right.
from the statutory formula. It
And
says-
that's the estimate, right?
Yeah.
But that's, doesn't even come close to jiving with that.
Yeah, I mean, that's way
So
over.
we're still trying to clarify that, but we did receive information from LTAP that we were one of the counties that had a bigger discrepancy. They said the majority of the state was probably closer to LTAP.
Richmond then is
Numbers,
up for a
but-
total of 2,069,000 according to this.
Yeah.
Potential surtax, 576,975. Potential wheel tax, 2 million, so it's actually 2,000,600. The last column got cut off, the total, just add it to. So, that's just, I don't understand. I don't know if Brad, Dr. Barrett,
Brad Barrett.
at least approach, this is out of Legislative Services Agency.
Yeah,
so
if they, if he or Jeff Rotz approached LSA, they'd be more likely
Yeah.
to get a response quickly than we would be.
Because I'm sure we're not the only one that's calling over there.
Well, and Bex is really good at AIM, the executive director, she's in general counsel, and executive director, and she's gotten back to me, but she couldn't explain it either, so.
Okay, thanks, Brandon.
All right, no problem, thank you.
What else have you got for us, Ron?
Okay, tell Mike I'll have, I told him I'd give him a copy of this, so.
Okay.
Tell him I'll have a copy and sent to him today or something.
Okay, that'll be fine.
Is he gonna be there tonight, or do you know?
Yeah, he's gonna be here tonight.
Okay, I'll take it to him tonight, yeah, thank you.
All right, thank you.
Thanks.
Suit was filed against the county and Dunn Associates last day of May on a claim that we didn't know anything about, Dunn didn't know anything about, originated under arbitration that's allowed under the No Surprises Act, I guess. Long story short, we didn't get notice of it, and the filing. I thought we had some things to talk about in court. Kathy is recommending that we just pay it.
Is this for the helicopter
Right.
flight?
Yeah.
Yeah,
What's the number on that?
20,327.27.
And this
I mean,
is,
how much are we gonna spend trying to fight it that we're probably gonna have to pay it anyhow if it's,
That would be my point. I think as the complaint has been filed, it's vulnerable to being dismissed. But that doesn't mean they can't go back and proceed under other alternative statutes. But they need to get a direct assignment of benefits from the patient who incurred the cost, and that may be a problem for them. See, right now, they're basically, they're the healthcare provider that's directly suing, and the Fifth Circuit says you can't do that. We got a case that's right there, and I think our conservative, and then all of the legal stuff says that Indiana's a county that does not have state enforcement, it's federal enforcement. So, I mean, I don't think it's the right action to even have filed, but Kathy, at the end of the day, her advisors are saying, go ahead and pay it. So the only point being, it's gonna come out playing either way, so if
right.
you had 10,000 in legal fees to save $10,000, you'd still have the plan spending 20,000, which is what you're spending now.
Or we spend
And if you
$10,000
lose-
and we still have to pay the 20,000.
Or, yeah, you
And
still-
then we're 30, so, I mean, it's,
Right.
and we have confirmed that there was a
Yeah.
transportation and
And the
uh,
event-
somebody
The
under our
event happened,
plans.
it was
Member of the plan.
a out-of-network provider, as probably is typically the case in that type of service. I mean, you don't shop it if you gotta have emergency helicopter.
Right.
Yeah, you're not, so,
You gotta
well, now,
get
can
to
you call somebody cheaper?
I mean, that was like, my wife had an emergency appendectomy, and it was an out-of-network provider, and I said, well, you know, really, what are we supposed to say? Well, no, let's leave that in there a little longer until so-and-so comes on, just shift tomorrow morning, you know, I said, I don't think we're gonna do that. So they did grant in-network.
Are you comfortable making a motion that we go ahead and pay that?
Based on our attorney's advice, I mean, I would make that motion that, I mean, I think if it's due and it was an action that was done, I mean,
I mean, yeah, I mean, these guys are literally ambulance chasers, but, you know.
Helicopter chasers.
Helicopter, yes,
Okay.
flight aid.
I mean,
flight aid.
I'm comfortable with just going ahead and paying it and.
I think that's
Motion.
probably the right thing to do
So
in the
moved.
processes.
I will second that motion. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor of the motion signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed,
Okay,
same sign.
I'll follow up with Kathy this afternoon, let her know
Okay.
that's approved.
Okay, good.
Taken care of. I got an answer on file, or I mean, a motion on file by some time. I don't think our answer's gonna be due now until August 8th, but if it gets paid, they'll dismiss, so I'll follow up.
Okay.
And then, obviously, the big thing I've been working on lately has been the wheel tax issues, and so,
So council's going to discuss that tonight and decide whether they
And
want to.
and when is that
go
deadline
forward.
again that well, not we, council has to make that decision?
Sep-
no, the decision has to be
August
made
31st.
fairly quickly, and then there's documentation that has to be assembled and provided by no later than September 1.
So I think they're going to discuss it tonight and make a decision on whether they want
But
to.
to get it on the
pursue
agenda for the August 6th meeting, we need to advertise, we need to get the legal to the paper tomorrow. Going by. So,
Okay.
All right.
and I think, I mean, just, you know, what I've done is, you know, I think we gotta pin down the issue of what the revenues expected are. And I would hope maybe somebody can contact either Rats or Barrett.
I can do that today.
Okay, and
Do that as soon as we're done.
Put on, give me that.
Yeah. Yeah, why don't you write down exactly what it is we want LSA to tell us.
We want to either confirm or,
Because remember, it's gonna go through me to Jeff Rotz or Brad Barrett, and then from them to LSA, and then back to us, so, you probably ought to write it down. Okay, anything else, Ron? We've got, notes here on the Violytics software system, which I
I don't know anything
what
about
that
that.
refers to. There's
I have nothing.
There's the local emergency planning committee, hazardous materials emergency response plan, updated for 2025, that they would like for us to approve, but Aaron's the head of that committee and he's not here
Can we
today,
wait
so
to him?
I think let's wait until next week.
If he's the head of that, then because we can
Yeah.
get more of an insight on it.
Yeah.
Got a hotel rate
Yeah, that-
increase.
Okay, let's do that.
Looks like got two of them. For council, 154 for 2 nights at French Lick. Must be a conference they're going to.
Okay,
And then we have another one for council, the Renaissance in Indianapolis at 172
okay.
for 1 night.
I'll make a motion to approve those three.
I'll second that.
We have a motion and it's just 2 nights.
2 nights and
Okay.
so 2,
Those two
yeah.
increases. There's a motion and a second. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor of the motion signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carries. So that's the hotel rate, the all-in-one contract.
Do you have anything on that?
All in one.
Not that I'm aware of. Do you have an all-in-one contract?
Yes, we do.
Okay. All of what?
All in one is our SWIFT MD.
Oh,
Oh,
okay.
okay.
So, their contract is up June 1st, and because of the way we received the contract and got everything, it was, of course, late. We have corrected the amount of the count, which was in question.
Yeah, because they always came in high, it
Yeah,
looked like to me.
yeah, so that has been corrected, and we have to, in our department, submit the total now.
Right, okay, okay.
So I just need a signature, and then we will send you a,
And is this at the same price as the
yes,
current
there's no
year?
change in
Okay,
prices.
Okay.
Move for approval.
I will second that motion. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor of the motion signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carries.
You see, we have to submit the total belly buttons covered?
Yes,
And not
yes.
just the planned participants?
Right, right. And then you will get an electronic copy to submit electronically.
That's still a savings, huge savings.
I just wish we could get more employees to use it.
Oh my gosh, if you
Because,
ever did.
I mean, I used it once, because I'd never used it before, and I used it, and within an hour, got a phone call back from a doctor, and I just needed a script filled, and she goes, okay, and boom, it was done.
Yeah.
Within 3 hours, I had the script and didn't have to
For
pay
a
anything.
charge.
and-
Sinus infection, which is one of the more typical ailments that they respond to. I called from the parking lot of Kroger's, got verification, got approval, went in, and my script was waiting at the pharmacy.
I mean, it's so
Less
much
than
quicker
30
than going to
minutes.
urgent care, going to the ER. I mean, it's just,
That was just on the rate.
I think a lot of people are apprehensive to calling in to somebody they
Yeah.
don't know,
Don't
and,
know.
oh, it's gonna be a pain, but it's really not. I mean,
They
it's,
can't make it much more user-friendly than it is.
so do we know what this software system is?
I don't. Violytics software
Yep.
system.
I guess we're gonna have to
Yep.
put that. If it's something we need action on, I guess we can
Bring
get
it up
more
at the workshop.
tonight, yeah.
Let's do that.
What is it for?
I don't.
We have no idea.
Oh.
Violytics software system.
Violytics?
Violet, I wonder if that has something to do with Craig, something, I have no idea.
I don't know.
Bobby didn't give us anything. She said, oh, I got some.
There was one software program that Mike was looking at, wasn't he, for,
Is that that?
I don't think so.
that didn't
I
sound
thought we
like-
approved that though.
I think you approved that subject by reviewing online the master terms,
Right.
which I did.
You
there.
did, and I think he went ahead.
I don't know.
Let's do, you've
All
got
right,
claims.
yeah,
minutes.
claims, just,
Minutes from the second.
need a motion to approve minutes for commissioners on July 2nd.
So moved.
Second? I guess we did that backwards, but.
That's all right. All in favor of the motion signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carries.
And move for approval for the following claims. Let's see if I can screw this up. Federal taxes dated July 11th. Dunflex and garnishments, July 11th. Payroll dated July 11th. General claims, looks like, for July 17th. And claims and CASA for July 9th. Move for approval.
Second. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor of the motion signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Anything else, Ron?
I kind of got interrupted in the middle of working on the devices, local agreements for the devices, and I got
For the radio tower
for the radio
project?
tower
Okay.
project. I got your information. It's all going to be from restricted. I got the aggregate number of the expenditures from Barry last night. That ought to be sufficient for your purposes, you think? Do I need to break it down by unit?
If they're gonna be, if each unit is gonna be signing
Yeah, each
a
unit's gonna be signed.
memorandum, they probably would wanna know what they're getting, wouldn't they?
I don't think they care. I mean, they know what they're getting. I don't think they care what it costs because they're not paying anything for it.
Yeah.
The question is whether we need to have that for our ARPA report. And I would have thought that it was all part of it.
I would think it would be helpful, but there's a line item for radios, and there's a line item for pagers, and there's
I haven't seen
various
how
line
it was
items.
submitted, so I don't know. Well, okay.
If you think it's okay without it.
I'll put this back
We
on
can-
Barry, and Barry offered to give me the numbers, so he's
Okay.
obviously can get them, so I'll just
Okay.
say, what is the best way to make what we do on this end correspond to what we said we were going to do in the application?
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, so that's the only other thing I had, and I'll get back on that hopefully
Okay.
this afternoon.
Good,
I'm not going to, I mean, we got like nine,
okay.
and then there's some will just be contracts, not interlocals, but with the two existing volunteer fire department corporations that are still in existence. We have one that was dissolved 10 or 15 years ago, so we'll go through the township trustee on that.
Okay. All right, good.
That's it.
On the back and forth email exchanges about W.E. Yoler Road,
Oh, yeah,
changing the
with the
speed
speed limit.
limit. Did you see Mike's?
That we need to legally do
It
a,
would take about
traffic
30
study.
days. You good with that?
yeah, no, I
Okay.
think, I mean,
I
it's a
didn't-
valid request
Yeah.
from,
I do
you know, the
not
sheriff, so-
remember the sheriff bringing it up 30 days ago. He said in his original email, I mentioned
I
this
think
30 days ago.
he did mention it, and Mike said something about that, but it never moved any forward, so.
Which road is it, Clyde?
W.E.
W.E.
Yoler, from Manning back east to Centerville Road or
Yeah.
somewhere in that area. And so Mike's gonna do a traffic
Traffic
study, and he thought it would take him at least 30 days, because they're all involved in paving projects and so on right now.
The study itself includes not only traffic count, but also speeds.
Right, and but he has equipment that'll do that.
Yeah, okay.
So we'll.
Yeah, I
get
think
that.
that's the proper
I do
procedure to
too.
go through,
I
do
do
this
too.
study and.
Okay. Anything from the auditor's office?
No, sir.
All right, anything else?
We have this in front of us, I don't know why we have this.
Oh, I asked Bobby to make copies just to give us a handle on
How
where
much
we're
we
at.
spent.
Right.
Okay.
And
this is the
so-
claims since the beginning of the year on.
correct. And-
Animal.
And we paid some things to Animal Care Alliance when they did some clinics, and then the rest of them are to help the animals for their monthly payments. And you'll notice that several of those are above $5,000. So, we had last year's experience. We increased the payment per animal to try to help them with doing spay and neutering. And so now it's looking like if this keeps up, now it may be an anomaly of warm weather and more animals out, more people out noticing that animals are out. But if this keeps up, we'll go over our projection of $50,000. And so I actually put in the budget $85,000. We asked for $100,000 last year, we got 70. I asked to increase that to 85, which would be plenty to accommodate this increase, but also to do some additional programming if we think it makes sense, like we have done this year. So I don't know. I talked to Max yesterday. He was a little skeptical, but I think we've got a good relationship with HELP, and I really want to keep that
I
going.
agree. Well, like you said, all we can do is ask for it. So,
And we'll
was
see.
there any other changes in the budget? Because we haven't had those discussions. Did you keep our contingency in there?
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. There are a couple of changes that, but not the insurance we raised.
Right, which-
Because.
Well, that's just a pass-through.
Right, we have a contract for another year with Reed to do ambulance service, that goes up, so that's in there. There's a couple other things that have escalators, like the trash, what do they call that?
Recycling? No.
It's not the recycling, it's the same location, transfer station.
Transfer station, right.
Couldn't think of, so that went
That's
up.
Best Way hasn't.
Best Way, right.
So everything's
So-
pretty much just either a pass-through that we are increasing fees or,
Right,
so the
Right.
only thing that really is the help and then our contingency. Did you put the same in on for our contingency?
25.
Okay.
The WCTV is in our budget.
Which,
So,
again, this is kind of a,
we-
we've already approved, so now we get.
Well, we approved for the balance of this year, and the number I put in was, at the time, we were discussing giving WCTV 100% of our franchise fees,
Right.
which was estimated at $32,000. So the number that's in there is $32,000. We've got this 6-month agreement with WCTV for $5,000 a month, where we can test it and we can see how it works and how much time it takes them to do it and all that. And then I'll just tell them, look, we'll evaluate it, but you can't evaluate something after 3 weeks. So
Right.
we need to give it a little time, and they can put in whatever number they want, and we'll go from there. So those are the primary changes, but
Well, I
I'll
will
take
say on
another
that, just,
look.
I mean, today's a prime example of a good use of that contract. We have them here doing this, and then they're doing the budget at the same time. They're both. I've got the live stream on for the budget hearings now, and we're being live streamed. So
And my only question is $5,000 a month the right number? Is it too much? Is it too little?
I guess we'll have
We'll-
to
we'll
see
find
after the
out.
evaluation.
Exactly. All right.
I don't have
Anything else? Mark, you just came in, anything?
Everything looks good to me, you're doing a heck of a job.
Well, thank
we
you.
need your
Thank you for
approval.
noticing.
Without
Thank you
me.
for noticing.
Oh, you were a representative.
Yes, she
That's
does
the
a
important
good
thing.
job. She's better than I am.
I will not comment on that, but she does a good job. I'll comment on that. If there's nothing else, we are adjourned.